about 10 years ago. And this was because I was doing a PhD and I was regularly required to present at lab meetings and to present to the department about twice a year. So this taught me to stand up in front of people and speak, and it taught me how to communicate science to scientists. But it didn't teach me how to speak on a wide variety of topics, how to organise a meeting. These are skills I'm learning at Toastmasters today, and I'd like to talk about a few principles that I've learnt at Toastmasters and how they can be applied to the workplace by using experiences from my past. So the first one is to know your audience. So I moved into a new job position last year, and it's one that requires effective communication. It's a business development type role, and I have to speak to scientists, to managers and to lawyers. I find communicating with scientists pretty straightforward. We tend to communicate in a very direct way. We don't use words unnecessarily, and we don't try and emboss a point with lots of flowery language. Communicating with lawyers, I found, is a totally different ballgame. I report to the in-house counsel, he is my boss, and he has the skill of communicating something that would take me 10 seconds over a period of anywhere between 2 to 10 minutes, with at least one metaphor thrown in for good measure. But in all seriousness, he handles business calls and meetings with great ease. And he's really able to get his point across to any audience because he frames his point very well and he uses lots of examples. And this is one of the reasons why, to me, he's one of the most effective communicators I know. So these are just two types of communication: science communication and business communication. But I've learned whatever form of communication you're doing, it's very important that to remember that it's not just what you're saying, it's how you say it. And this is my second point. So around Christmas time last year, just before the holidays, things had quietened down at work just enough for me to get to my non-urgent to-do list. And one of the things on this list was to go through the company agreements. So I went down to my boss's office, I picked up the files, and I spent the next couple of days going through the agreements. Now this is an extremely boring undertaking. It was until I got to a very interesting file. It was a due diligence report on the company I previously worked for. And this was a company in the UK, and it got bought by my current company. Here was a report that described my previous company from the perspective of the company I'm at now. It described the operations and it described the people in it. I knew my boss wouldn't be happy with me reading it, but it was too good an opportunity to miss, so I read it anyway. First thing I noticed was that I wasn't in it. This was quite a relief, also a bit of a disappointment, but people mentioned in it were very senior, so I let it go. The second thing was the description of two of our senior scientists within the company. The first person was senior at the UK site, and I'll call him Tony. The second scientist was very senior in the Australian site, and I'll call him Peter. Now, Tony and Peter have very different personalities. Tony is quite introverted, whereas Peter is very extrovert. When Tony generally only offers his opinion when it's asked for, and Peter's happy opining here, there and everywhere. And the report on Tony was far more positive than that of Peter. But here's the thing. The report was supposed to be based on scientific merit, and in my opinion, Tony's scientific credentials far outweighed those of Peter, and if I was to write the report knowing them both, I would give Tony a more positive review. And this really hit home to me how important it is to present yourself in a certain way. And I'm not saying that confident, extroverted people will always get ahead of introverted people. All I'm saying is that some people have to work more at this, and I put myself within that category. My third point is that everyone has to start somewhere. And this, again, a few years ago, I used to think that people who were good at communicating were born that way. I changed my mind again during my PhD, and this is because the head of department, who was a very well-established and well-respected scientist in the stem cell field, And when you first meet him, he's quite a quiet and unassuming man. But when he speaks, it's like he almost transforms because he's so calm and confident, and he conveys authority on his subject. Now, this changed. I mean, I always thought he was very good at speaking, and I thought he'd always been this way because I had no reason to think otherwise. But I went to a science film festival, and in between two films there was a short news clip. And here was Austin, who was the head of department 10 years earlier, and he was being interviewed in his lab by a local news channel. And it was almost like watching a different person. He was very nervous, he was a bit shifty, and he answered the questions quite defensively. And to see it, as I say, it didn't seem like it was Austin at all. And it was a little bit uncomfortable watch, but it was one of the best things I've ever seen because it was really a revelation that there was hope for us all. So, in summary, communication is important in many aspects of our lives. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And we have to start somewhere, and I feel that Toastmasters provides a very encouraging environment in which to learn these skills. So whether you're starting your speaking career or continuing it, join Toastmasters today.